Country Profile, Malaysia Facts and History. For centuries, port cities on the Malay Archipelago served as important stops for spice and silk traders plying the Indian Ocean. Although the region has an ancient culture and a rich history, the nation of Malaysia is only about 50 years old. Malaysia's government is a constitutional monarchy. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Supreme King of Malaysia, title rotates as a 5-year term among rulers of the 9 states. Senators are elected by state legislatures or appointed by the king. Members of the House are directly elected by the people. People of Malaysia. Malaysia's official language is Bahasa Malaysia, a form of Malay. The citizens of Malaysia speak about 140 additional languages as mother tongues. Malaysians of Chinese descent come from many different regions of China so that they may speak not just Mandarin or Cantonese, but also Hokkien, Hakka, Fuchu and other dialects. Particularly in East Malaysia, Malaysian Borneo, people speak over 100 local languages including Iban and Kadasan. Officially, Malaysia is a Muslim country. Although the constitution guarantees freedom of religion, it also defines all ethnic Malays as Muslims. Malaysia covers the tip of the peninsula it shares with Thailand as well as 2 large states on a portion of the island of Borneo. In addition, it controls a number of small islands between peninsular Malaysia and Borneo. Malaysia has land borders with Thailand, on the peninsula, as well as Indonesia and Brunei, on Borneo. Equatorial Malaysia has a tropical, monsoonal climate. Malaysia was one of Asia's tiger economies before the 1997 crash and has recovered nicely. Malaysia exports electronics, petroleum products, rubber, textiles, and chemicals. History of Malaysia. Humans have lived in what is now Malaysia for at least 40 to 50,000 years. Later immigration waves from southern China and Cambodia included the ancestors of modern Malays, who brought technologies such as farming and metallurgy to the archipelago between 20,000 and 5,000 years ago. By the 3rd century BCE, Indian traders had begun to bring aspects of their culture to the early kingdoms of the Malaysian peninsula. Chinese traders likewise appeared some 200 years later. Before 600 CE, Malaysia was controlled by dozens of small local kingdoms. Srivijaya was a maritime empire, which controlled 2 key narrows on the Indian Ocean trade routes, the Malacca and the Sunda Straits. As a result, all goods passing between China, India, Arabia and other parts of the world along these routes had to go through Srivijaya. By the 1100s, it controlled points as far east as parts of the Philippines. In 1402, a descendant of the Srivijayan royal family called Parameswara founded a new city-state at Malacca. The Malacca Sultanate became the first powerful state centered in modern-day Malaysia. Malacca was an important port of call for traders and sailors including China's Admiral Zheng He and early Portuguese explorers like Diogo Lopes de Siqueira. The Portuguese seized Malacca in 1511, but the local rulers fled south and established a new capital at Johor Lama. The northern Sultanate of Aceh and the Sultanate of Johor vied with the Portuguese for control of the Malay Peninsula. In 1641, the Dutch East India Company, VOC, allied itself with the Sultanate of Johor, and together they drove the Portuguese out of Malacca. Although they had no direct interest in Malacca, the VOC wanted to funnel trade away from that city to its own ports on Java. The Dutch left their Johor allies in control of the Malay states. Other European powers, particularly the UK, recognized the potential value of Malaya, which produced gold, pepper, and also the tin that the British need to make tea tins for their Chinese tea exports. Malayan sultans welcomed British interest, hoping to stave off Siamese expansion down the peninsula. In 1824, the Anglo-Dutch Treaty gave the British East India Company exclusive economic control over Malaya. The British Crown took direct control in 1857 after the Indian Uprising, Sepoy Mutiny. Through the early 20th century, Britain exploited Malaya as an economic asset while allowing the sultans of individual areas some political autonomy. The British were caught completely off guard by the Japanese invasion in February 1942. Japan tried to ethnically cleanse Malaya of Chinese while fostering Malayan nationalism.